काल्पनिक पूरा करने के काम में। और भाषा में जरूरतों का पक्ष प्रकट होता है। कल तक हम बड़ी तेजी से की तरफ दौड़ रहे थे, लेकिन जैसे ही संबंधी ज्ञान हो गया या कंप्यूटर संबंधी भाषा, उसकी रोजी रोटी, मनोरंजन या के व्यापक संग्रहण की जरूरतों को पूरा करने में रुचि का होना भी महत्वपूर्ण। लाख कोई सिखाए, अगर आपकी रुचि नहीं है तो भाषा आकार ग्रहण करती है, क्योंकि जो ध्वनि के काम की होती है का उपयोग करने में उसकी रुचि विकसित हो जाती है। छोटे बच्चों को जो पढ़ाते हैं, देखते हैं कि कोई बच्चा बहुत तेजी से सीख लेता है, कोई नहीं, उसे रुचि और से जुड़ना चाहिए, और रुचिपूर्ण सीखने की प्रेरणा नहीं जाती है। इसलिए भाषा शिक्षण के संदर्भ में रुचि को रखता है। रुचि के तत्व विशेष है, रोगी व्यक्ति है और रचनात्मक होने के कारण वह आकार इसलिए छोटी सी उम्र में भाषा अनुकरण करता है, सीखने लगता है। कैसे लाया को समाज से ग्रहण करना नहीं होता है। पहला के कारण जन का जो दूसरा वातावरण है, इसी भाषा या वही सायास तौर पर सीखने की आम भाषा के रूप में कह सकते। मातृभाषा या के सीखना या शिक्षण की भाषा में कहते हैं। बच्चे के द्वारा भाषा के व्यवहार जाने वाले रूप को सीखना भी में हिंदी की तद्भव होता है, वो बच्चा हिंदी के तद्भव रूप को ग्रहण करता है, लेकिन हिंदी के तत्सम रूप को सीखने के लिए उसे प्रयास करना और प्रयास द्वारा हिंदी की तत्सम शब्दावलियों को सीखना और किसी अन्य के लिए हिंदी के तद्भव सीखना भी भाषा के अंतर्गत आ सकता है। शिक्षण की दृष्टि से भाषा अर्जन के वातावरण का निर्माण करना यानी संदर्भ देना भी सकता है। और जब हम समावेशी कक्षा और भाषा शिक्षण की दृष्टि से हैं तो हमें लगेगा कि जब की बात कर तो यह और भी जरूरी हो जाता है। हर बच्चे की जरूरत तौर तरीके, मानसिक विशेषताओं तथा पृष्ठभूमि को ध्यान में रखते हुए करनी पड़ती है, विचार किया जाना चाहिए। जैसी अवधारणा के नहीं शामिल है उसमें, और बहुलता या विविधतावादी हमारी जहां ऐसा तो उस बहुलता या विविधतावादी संस्कृति, समाज, भाषा ही हमारे विशेष जाहिर है कि इस अहम और अच्छे स्वरूप को बनाए रखने के लिए स्वरूप को भी कहीं न कहीं बहुभाषाई, बहुसांस्कृतिक या बहुसामाजिक होने के साथ साथ बच्चे को सीखने का अवसर देना होगा। और जब हम भाषा की कक्षा की बात करते हैं, भाषी को ही इसके साथ साथ समझने के सोचना हो, क्योंकि सोचना हो, व्यक्त करना और पढ़े लिखे या आप भैया पढ़ने लिखने जाने अनजाने या पहचाने स्वरूप इन्हीं ठीक है अन्य भाषा की समझ ये संभव होगा। मान लीजिए कि उनकी सूचना या फिर खास अनुभव कक्षा में चर्चा का विषय बना, तो विभिन्न प्रकार की अभिव्यक्तियों का होगा। हमें कक्षा में उपस्थितियों का भी ध्यान रखना होगा जो सुन या बोल नहीं और उनकी अभिव्यक्ति का माध्यम सांकेतिक भाषा है, इससे अपनी अभिव्यक्ति करते हैं, जैसे उसका प्रयोग व्यक्त करते हैं। लेकिन उनके पढ़ाने के तरीके भी उस तरह से अलग होंगे ही। उनको भी अवसर देते हुए उसे विभिन्न या कहेगी वह इस बात को अन्य बच्चों को भी समझना होगा। अगर करते हैं तो होता है या उनके तरीके को भी हम सुनना और देखना, क्योंकि विद्यार्थियों की होगा निश्चित रूप से और एक समावेशी कक्षा में समाज अलग अलग पढ़ाई और नौती यह है कि सबके एक साथ शिक्षा ज्ञान पहले उसे हमें लचीला बनाना होगा। उसमें बदलाव करें, ये हमारी पारंपरिक लेकिन विविधता में इसका एक ही तरीका होंगे। ये हमारी पारंपरिक सोच है, लेकिन हर विद्यार्थी के लिए अलग शिक्षा विकसित करनी होगी और पढ़ाने पर जोर दिया जाना कि सिर्फ पढ़ाते रहे और केवल सबके लिए इसके लिए हम क्या कहते हैं कि शिक्षा का जो यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन पर हम इसकी चर्चा करते हैं कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि समग्र भाषा का विचार को टुकड़ों में के अनुसार के मुताबिक या घटना के रूप में देखते हैं, में देखते हैं। एक बार खेल रहा हो मैदान अनुभव होंगे मैं न देकर पूरी समूह को बताने की भरसक कोशिश करता है कि उसने या सुनी देखी जो कि इस प्रकार के तथ्यों को अगर हम आधार बनाकर जो लिखित भाषा का विकास है या लिखित भाषा का विकास भी वाचिक करती होगा और यही समग्र भाषा दृष्टि का सार है और लिखना भी आसान हो जाता है। अलग अलग उसके को आधार बनाया जाए कि कुछ उसे उसकी क्षमता विकास करें। भाषा भाषा सीखने को नहीं देखा जाना चाहिए, लिखने को समग्रता की दृष्टि से देखा जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि जब तक समग्रता देखें उस पर नहीं पहुंचेंगे और पढ़ने लिखने का अनुभव और समग्र भाषा की जो संकल्पना है व्याजी ने की या ने की या चॉम्स्की ने भी की, उनके शोध कर आप देखें पढ़ें और खंडन भी करते भी निर्भर कर देते हैं। और क्या समग्र भाषा पढ़ने तथा लिखने के शिक्षण की ऐसी पद्धति, इसमें अलग अलग ध्वनियों का अर्थपूर्ण संदर्भों में ये शब्द या वाक्य पर विश्वास करने वाले शिक्षक मानते हैं एक दूसरे के गुम की स्थिति है। तो एक भाषा को टुकड़ों में तोड़कर हर टुकड़े को इस अनुदेश के साथ जोड़ देने के खिलाफ है ये। इसलिए समग्र भाषा के आधार क्या सीखने वाला जो गुना बच्चा अपने वातावरण को देख प्रकार करते हैं कि विद्यार्थियों को अपने और वास्तविक को ही लिखना या सिखाने भाषा तब बोलना सीखने से कौन और यदि किसी बच्चे के परिवेश में भाषा हुए हो तब पढ़ना सीखूं। इसी स्थिति में भारतीय संस्कृति बहुभाषिक है, इसलिए बहुभाषिक समाधान कर सकते हैं और में बहुभाषिकता जोड़ भी दिया जा रहा है। कक्षाओं में सभी ये जाने की जो समस्या है उससे बाहर निकलना होगा। इससे बच्चों की जो सृजनात्मकता तथा समझ है, सकारात्मक बच्चे की जो क्रिया है, जो क्रिएटिविटी वो निगेटिविटी में बदल जाती है। बच्चे की शिक्षक होते हैं इसलिए कक्षाओं में बच्चों की क्षमताओं का उपयोग सिखाने की जो दृष्टि है उसके और इसमें एक से अधिक भाषाओं के उपयोग को स्वीकार हम करते हैं। क्षेत्रीय भाषा में या क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में भाषा को भी सुनने बोलने या व्यक्त करने लिखने का पढ़ बात तो दिया जाना और बहुभाषिकता हमारी शक्ति हमारी कमजोरी नहीं है। हम जिन क्षेत्रों में रहते हैं वहाँ आता जैसे मैं जिन बांग्ला है, यहाँ के कोकरोक है, दुनिया भाषा हम ऐसे ही जाते हैं। अमूमन क्षेत्र में रहने वाले का न्वयन है वो कई तरह से कर किया जाना चाहिए। उससे हम नहीं दे पाएंगे क्योंकि बहुविधता का जो शैक्षिक समझने के लिए जो नेताओं समझना महत्वपूर्ण है या जानना महत्वपूर्ण है वो कभी मददगार नहीं होगा। अगर हम इसलिए हमारे भाषा के हम कहते हैं कि कोई भाषा विकसित होती है, भाषा के विकास का अवसरों की जो या जो घटना भाषाओं के स्तर पर घटी स्तर पर एक से अधिक भाषाओं में करते हैं और उस व्यवहार उनका खुद का अपना भी होता है, उनकी अपनी विधा हो और उदाहरण देकर जैसे कवि की आदि के बाद और एक ही भाषा जानने वाले की तुलना में अधिक होता है और बात हुए हैं या हो रहे हैं जहाँ भाषा में जो अंतर्निहित के को व्यवहार में लाना आवश्यक है। जहाँ आत्मा की बड़ी उपलब्ध ज्ञान है उसको साझा अपनी मातृ के अतिरिक्त अन्य भाषा सीखना एक आवश्यक होगी। और भाषा कर सकते हैं हमारे देश की पहले करना और इस खास कर शैक्षिक की भाषा को या उसकी में उसकी जो अभूत दुनिया है वो और उसकी भाषा को नकारा जा रहा होता है। विद्यार्थी के आत्मविश्वास की भाषा में सुना जाए उसके ये बात शैक्षणिक महत्व की है और भाषा विशेष की भी कम से कम ना नकारा जाए। और स्तर पर या राज्य के स्तर पर और की मजबूती के लिए बहुभाषिकता को अपनाना आज के समय में अनिवार्य आवश्यक है। जो जिस भाषा में देश के हालातों को समझता है अवसर प्रदान करता है लोकतंत्र में सुनिश्चित होती है और जनता की भागीदारी का मायने और प्रत्यक्ष अप्रत्यक्ष तमाम लाभ हैं क्योंकि बहुभाषिकता होने वाले लाभ अनगिनत हैं और नई संभावनाओं के नए नए गवाक्ष खुलते और बहुभाषिकता सामने आती है क्योंकि प्रत्येक भाषा में सोच अलग से औजार हैं और वो औजारों से भी संबद्ध होती है भाषाएं और आमतौर पर देखा गया कि संबंधों से बनने में या ये संबंधों के बनने में भाषा महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाती है। एक से अधिक संबंधों का दायरा विस्तृत होता है और संबंधों में विविधता भी आती है, भी नजदीकियां भी बढ़ती है, साथ साथ चिंतन में लचीलापन भी आता है और वैविध्य भी आता है। भाषाएं जानते हैं तो हमारा आत्मविश्वास कि अलग अलग भाषा है तो व्यक्ति अनेक गतिविधियों की भागीदारी भी करता है। भाषिकता का एक अर्थ तो एक से अधिक भाषाओं में भाषिक व्यवहार लेकिन अन्य अर्थ कई तरह की परिस्थितियों का सामने या करने की जो योग्यता का होना भी आवश्यक है। एक ही भाषा अलग अलग तरह से तब भाषा के ऐसी बहुभाषिकता की श्रेणी में ले सकते हैं। कभी कभी कक्षा में आती है कि जब किसी एक भाषा के माध्यम से वो नहीं हो पाता है वो संभव बनाने के लिए उनका सहारा मिलेगा। बड़ी कक्षाओं में पढ़ाता हूँ संकट आता है तो बांग्ला ठीक से भले ना आती हो लेकिन बांग्ला में ही हम अपनी बातें उन तक पहुंचा देते हैं, उनको समझाने में हम सफल हो जाते हैं। तो कक्षाओं उसका बहुभाषिकता तथा तथा अनुचित या अप्रचलित संदर्भों में एक भाषा के दौरान हम जो उपयोग करने में जो अंतर है वो अगर करते हैं तो मैं हवाई जहाज गया हूँ या राष्ट्रीय वाक्यों का उदाहरण अगर हम देते हैं तो फिर कहेंगे कि मैं रेलगाड़ी से के बजाय करने की मैं लोपाटगामी से आऊँ या जैसे मैं कर दूँ कि मैं बियर करता हूँ तो पहनता हूँ या मैं व्हाइट ट्राउजर बियर करता हूँ, ये बात समय में हमारे में आसपास इस तरह की भाषा और स्वीकार हो रही स्वीकृति हो रही, लोग स्वीकारते हैं के लिए तमाम प्रक्रियाएं चलती हैं, उससे जो कुछ दृश्य या कुछ अनुभव हम होते हैं उसको लेकर के अनुभवजन्य बातें हम शिक्षक के रूप में बहुत ध्यान से अगर देखें तो हमें समझ में आता है, क्योंकि तकनीक हम दे सकते हैं और इसमें भाषा के निरीक्षण को पाठ में दर्ज सूचनाएं पहचानने या सूचनाओं को याद करने की जो तकनीक है उसमें ढालते हैं। बरकत जो हम शिक्षण में भाषा और वो तकनीकी विषय पाकर और उसमें जो अंतर्निहित जो कहिए कि स्वतंत्रता के तत्व है उसको जब हम उस पर ही विचार करना होगा, क्योंकि आने वाले दिनों में ढेर सारे विकल्प खुलेंगे और वैकल्पिक दृष्टि भी जो मुख्य दृष्टि रखता है मीमांसा की पाठ बात करते हैं तो हम ये मान लेते हैं कि ज्ञान की सत्ता होने वाले से ज्ञान का
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू एक्चुअली आपका वॉइस ऑडिबल नहीं है, काफी ज्यादा ब्रेक हो रहा है।
ये मेरी समस्या
सर, ये शायद आपके नेटवर्क की तरफ से हो रहा है, तो क्या आप ईयरफोन है या हेडफोन है आपके पास तो आप वो यूज कर सकते हैं माइक के साथ।
मैंने कोशिश
या आप थोड़ा माइक को पास में ला करके बोलने की कोशिश करिए, क्योंकि वॉइस बहुत ज्यादा ब्रेक हो रहा है आपका।
तो क्या वीडियो बंद करके ऑडियो में
हेलो,
क्या मैं ऑडियो बात करूं वीडियो बंद कर दूं?
नहीं सर, वीडियो को चलते रहने दीजिए। आप थोड़ा सा माइक के पास आके बोलेंगे तो आई थिंक वॉइस आपका ब्रेक नहीं होगा।
वो माइक मैंने तो यही समस्या वहां आई थी तो सोचा मैंने फिर उससे दिक्कत हो रही थी और समस्या नेटवर्क की है, बहुत ही पुअर।
आई थिंक आपका नेटवर्क का कुछ इशू हो रहा है, आपकी वॉइस बहुत ही ज्यादा ब्रेक हो रहा है।
तो ऐसा ना करें कि इसको रोक दें, फिर कहीं किसी और दिन पर चर्चा करें, ही नहीं पहुंचेगी।
हेलो सर, मुझे लगता है एक बार वीडियो ऑफ करके देखिए, कोशिश करिए, हो सकता है वीडियो ऑफ करने से हो सकता है। हेलो प्रोफेसर विनोद कुमार मिश्रा सर, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
Sir, are you there?
देंगे सर।
ओके मैम। Anyone has questions, please write down your question in chat box. Yes,
आवाज है?
sir. जी
नहीं, कितना दुखी कर
सर,
देती है
आपकी
कि
आवाज तो आ रही है बट बाधित है सर, बात क्लियर नहीं हो पा रही है।
तो मैं थोड़ा वीडियो बंद करके बात करता हूँ।
जी जी सर।
अब समझ आई?
यस सर। हाँ जी, आवाज। जी सर।
जी जी। तो मैं बात कर रहा था कि जो रचनात्मक शिक्षण है और जो तमाम जो धाराओं से इस बात पर हम सहमति व्यक्त करते हैं कि सीखने वाला मत की अनुभव और इस बात है कि सीखने क्रिया में ऐसी बातों का में सीखने वालों में रुचि तो पैदा होती है और इस बात पर भी सहमति है कि उसकी जो सक्रियता है, सक्रिय हो मतलब दिमागी रूप से सक्रिय होना होता है। क्यों सक्रिय नहीं करेंगे तो फिर आधार नहीं बन पाएगा। और इस बात पर भी सहमति बनती दिखती है कि भाषा का विकास उस तरह से नहीं हो सकता जिस प्रकार भाषा के विकास की उपागम द्वारा की जा सकती है। और रचनात्मक शिक्षक में सहमति तथा विरोधों के स्वरों को पहचानना चाहिए। नहीं कर पाएंगे कहीं न कहीं वो, और ये दृष्टि जब तक हम समेकित दृष्टि विकसित नहीं करेंगे या अगर समेकित नहीं करते हैं तो भारत चिंतन की लंबी परंपरा रही, जो भारतीय भाषा दृष्टि है उस पर में भाषा चिंतन की एक लंबी परंपरा रही है। वो अगर आप भर्तृहरि से लेकर भाषा व्याकरण है या चलिए आइए हिंदी साहित्य तक चाहे चिंतन संदर्भों में शिक्षण के महत्व को स्वीकार करते हैं और संपूर्णता में भाषा अप्रोच का आधार है। जैसे पदे च वर्णा विद्यते वर्षेषु च या वाक्यातिरिक्त पदानाम भर्तरी करते वाक्यपदीय में। और जिस प्रकार जैसे कि जिस वर्णों से कोई अवयव या टुकड़े नहीं होते वैसे पदों के अवयव नहीं होते भी वाक्य के अवयव नहीं होते। अब अगर राजनीति में आए, गांधी आते हैं के बारे में गांधी के विचारों को अगर हम तो दो तरह के रास्ते दिखते हैं। उनके सामाजिक दर्शन विचारों हम विचारों के सभ्यता, देश एवं अहिंसा और उन्होंने ऐसे हुए मूल तत्व रख जाता है। और गांधी के संबंधी विचारों के लिए तो उन्होंने भाषा के संदर्भ में कही है। जीवन और समाज की भाषा की सरलता में भी विश्वास करते कि वो जिस तरह की हिंदी की वकालत करती है के रूप में इस देश की राष्ट्रभाषा होती, लेकिन सुचितावादी का खंडन किया, विरोध किया। इसलिए समाज की मानने की बात पहुंचाने का एक माध्यम है और साथ ही लोगों की बात को सुनने का भी बात को लोगों तक पहुंचाया जाता है। और ऐसा करने के लिए आवश्यक था भाषा को कठिन बनाने वाले कारणों की पहचान कर दूर करने का तरीका भी समझाते थे, या की बात करते थे, या कहते थे समझाइए। समझ से शब्दों से लाद दिया जाता था, लेंगे कि शब्द डाल देंगे जिसका अर्थ उन्हें भी पता नहीं है, और आप इसी भ्रम में रहते कि भाई पता नहीं कौन सा अर्थ उसका होगा जो उन्होंने। और उनका मानना था गांधी का कि जो सुनने और पढ़ने वाले को आसानी से समझ में आ जाए, इसलिए वो राष्ट्रभाषा हिंदुस्तानी की वकालत करते थे। और हमारा क्या होगी, हिंदी हो या हिंदुस्तानी, का जवाब गांधी ही हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा हो सकती, भाषाओं के शब्द दिए जाए। और गांधी जी ने जिस प्रकार की शिक्षा व्यवस्था का सपना देखा, जिस प्रयास भी किए, उस इस प्रकार की शिक्षा की व्यवस्था का स्वायत्तता और आत्मनिर्भरता का विकास होगा। जो शिक्षा नीति चुनती है उसमें भी गांधी की उस दृष्टि की झलक मिलती है, क्योंकि यदि वे ग्रामीणों को शिक्षा के समझने या स्वयं को व्यक्त करने का आत्मविश्वास भी विकसित होता है। इस बात भाषा कैसी है, और एक राष्ट्र चाहते थे कि बच्चों को ऐसी बात लगी हुई न हो। अगर ऐसा होता है तो लोग सुनने का माध्यम बनाने के बजाय बना देंगे। अब समाज को सब समाज मानने और सहजता, गांधी जी ने भाषा बोझिल होने और सरल बनाने की बात की। देहातियों का गांव का देश है, और सारा शहर भी गांव पर निर्भर है, इसलिए ये लोग समझ सके। इसलिए गांधी जी के लिए भाषा में काम किए जाते हैं, उसी भाषा में अनुभव। अगर उपयोग की भाषा में अलगाव हो तो नुकसान मौलिकता का होता है। जिन विचारों के लिए लोगों के पास पहले से शब्द मौजूद हैं, इन विचारों को करने के लिए पहले वर्णों को रचने में विचार करने की प्रक्रिया मंद बनती है। की बात मातृभाषा के सवाल पर भी है कि मातृभाषा से दूर किसी पढ़ाते हैं बच्चे को। इसलिए गांधी जैसा चाहते थे, कम से कम राष्ट्रीय जो बनी है अभी, उसमें गांधी की वो झलक आपको दिखाई। और महानी का हिसाब कौन लगा सकता है, जो पाने जीवन बिता दे और अंत में मिलता क्या, कुछ नहीं। गांधी कहते थे कि मैं उस भाषा को हिंदी कहता हूं जिससे उत्तर भारत के हिंदू और मुसलमान बोल सकते हैं, और जो कि इस व्याख्या पर थोड़ी आपत्ति की गई, उर्दू भिन्न भाषाएं हैं। यह पा रहा हूँ, ऐसे मैं प्रयासरत था कि कुछ चीजें दिन भर 2-3 प्रोग्राम में जुड़ा और समस्या रही है। समाप्त करने के लिए मैं जरूर बता दूं कि भाषा के शिक्षक विचारों की हो सकती है, स्व-विचार विद्यार्थी को विचार करने का अवसर मिले, विचार करने ऐसे विषय उपलब्ध हो जो उसकी आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करते हो, अमूर्त और उसकी मानसिक आवश्यकताओं से दूर की बातों से रस स्थिति में फिर वही रटन तो विद्यार्थी रह जाएगा। इसलिए हमें ऐसे बगीचे के खिले हुए फूल की तरह हो, फूलदान में लगे हुए पौधे की तरह ना हो। नहीं पाया से तकनीकी खराबी के चलते, जिसका मुझे खेद है, और फिर कभी मौका मिला अपने स्थान पर मैं पहुंच जाऊंगा तो शिक्षण की तमाम प्रचलित विधियों प्रणालियों पर।
धन्यवाद सर। मैं डॉक्टर मनीषा अग्रवाल, आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। नेटवर्क इशू के कारण हम सभी आपको समय से नहीं सुन पा रहे हैं, तो मेरा वो है आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपके द्वारा दिया गया मार्गदर्शन हम सभी को लाभान्वित करें, और अन्य नेक्स्ट सेशन में हम आपसे फिर आपके विचारों को सुने। इसके लिए धन्यवाद सर। नेक्स्ट सेशन स्टार्ट होने को है। अगला सेशन श्रीमती मौसमी जैना मैम।
Yes, madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, this side Gurpreet. Just give me 1 second. Something is important to announce. As we know, the next session is going to start very soon. So if you have any question regarding the current session, please type your questions in chat box.
सॉरी टू से मैम, एक्चुअली इसमें मोबाइल से में तो चैट बॉक्स का ऑप्शन ही नहीं है।
Not an issue, ma'am. I'll connect you.
ओके मैम।
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
मैं स्टार्ट करूं?
Yes, ma'am.
यस सर।
Respected for the sir and all the participants and my dear colleagues. This is Mosmi Tena, a faculty member in the Department of Psychology, Himalayiya University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. We are into the third day and fourth session of our 2-week-long orientation camp faculty department. Is one of the erudite scholars in the domain of history in India. He is now but Professor Saptadev Poddar. Professor Saptadev Poddar is at present the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Bir Vikram University, Agartala, Tripura. He has professor of history that works at the capacity of head of the Department of History in Faculty of Arts and Commerce, Director College Development Council, Controller of Examinations at Tripura Central University. He holds than 50 research publications in national and international journals. And to his credit, he has many published books of high intellectual relevance in historical studies. He has guided a number of doctorate research scholars. He has been adorned with Mahatma Gandhi Professor of History in deliver his lecture today. Sir. Sir, please. Sir, you are to talk. Yes, sir.
Namaste, madam.
Thank you, sir. Please,
Hello.
take me your picture.
Namaskar to everyone. At the very outset, I extend thanks to Professor N. Jena, Vice Chancellor, Himalayiya University, Dehradun, for calling me on such an occasion where university is organizing a 2-week online national level orientation Cum FDP program on dynamic of effective, efficient and engrossing teaching in liberal arts, social sciences and humanities. It is indeed a matter of great pleasure that I am associated with my old colleague in a program where the faculty development program, which is very much important for any university, and the motive behind it that faculties should be oriented so that they can deliver the best that they have in the entire educational scene. And the topic that has been put for deliberation is dynamic of effective and efficient and engrossing teaching. The university stands for teaching and research. Both are done by the faculties and the students. The students are the main vehicle of any university, and the faculties are expected to deliver the best so that they can pursue the motto of education in research also. Faculty development program aims to create such kind of ambience in the university that the faculty should be well oriented about the new challenges, the learning, the deliverance, the lectures, the pedagogies are being faced, and you will be happy to know that Government of India has introduced National Education Policy in 2020, and under National Education Policy, there is a paradigm shift in the entire structure of the education, and with the shift in the entire structure, there is a great emphasis that the faculties working in the college or the universities or any institute, they require orientation as per the need of the hour, as per the new demand that the National Education Policy talks about, because the very motto, the purpose the education stands for under National Education Policy, it should be truly followed by the institution, and the teachers are the main vehicle, and in that way organizing such a very orientation program on a relevant topic, it certainly speaks that the Vice Chancellor is visionary. Vice Chancellor or the university has taken such a task that very relevant topic where the university stands for the teaching should be effective, teaching should be efficient, and teaching should be engrossing. And I have been asked by Vice Chancellor that you have to also participate in such a program. I am hesitant to make any kind of comment because due to my busyness that I have, but again, to be the part of such kind of occasion is my great honor for me, extended by our colleague. I am very much happy that I can see Madam also, Mosmi Jena. Madam has been always kind to me because we have been living together in the campus. I do remember those sweet days at the time of morning walk, or the entire way we have been associated with Madam. With that sweet memory, I would like to share my deliverance with the entire faculties who have joined today. And the topic that has been said today, it is the historical linkage, a tool of effective teaching. As you know, I am a student of history. I have been working for the last 35 years to make history my career, and the kind of experiences that we have developed for the last 35 years, we do feel that under national education policy, the expectation of the student must be cared, and the way of teaching that we started in the very beginning, with the passage of time, there has been always changes, and it requires more changes under new perspective. In general, when you talk about the importance of pedagogy in the education, we are all aware that the pedagogy forms a very important part of entire education system. In the university, we have a concept of teacher, we have a concept of a student, and our motto is to make the education 100% fruitful. The goal of the education must be cherished. The vision and mission of any institute must be taken care by the entire process, the educational deliverance. And the teachers, the faculties are the vehicle of delivery of the education. Our consumer is students. So a rapport is required, a relation between teacher and taught is required, a kind of ambience where such kind of deliverance is being carried out, that deliverance can be fruitful if the social ambience is important, and if that is given by the administration, the teacher takes the privilege to deliver the best. So under nice ambience, academic ambience, the relation between teacher and taught is created. When we talk about the teacher and taught, we have two things we have to keep in mind. Under national education policy, there is a new national education qualification framework where we have the guidelines for new syllabus. We have a guidelines for new pedagogy also, how the syllabus of the under new education policy, how teachers will be trained, either they are from humanities or social sciences or liberal arts. Their pedagogy must be changed, taking into the change in their source contents, and in that way the student and teacher relation is important. Teacher is important, who are the main vehicle for the delivery of the course content. And I would like to share my historical experiences. All history is important, or historical experiences is important, or the linkage, historical linkage is important while delivering or while imparting education in the class. will be interesting. In that way, the role of history, how it is important for any teacher, whether they are the teacher of humanities, whether they are the teacher of social sciences or liberal art. The linkage of history, the knowledge of history is most important in the teaching process, the lecture process, in the process of deliverance in the classes. Without historical knowledge, it is my belief that lecture cannot be effective. When you talk about historical linkage, I mean whether you are teaching any subject, how history is related to any subject. You know, the history is the study of past. Any subject, whether you are teaching political science, sociology, economics, psychology, the knowledge never goes on without any kind of background. They have the background, and with that background, the things move on. With the past legacy, the present is studied and future is projected. This is the usual, the continuum of the academic journey. And in that, with the knowledge of history, becomes very much inevitable for any kind of discipline, because it helps them to link the past with the present, and if the past is linked with the present, it creates a kind of continuum. If anything is in the continuity, it creates interest, and the gap which is being created, because without linking how things has happened, no event occurs in vacuum. It has some, the beginning. If you take any kind of study of society, study of economy, it has two important things: the time span and the space. The time and the space is most important in all the events of any discipline, because the place where any kind of event has occurred and a particular time where the things has taken place, the knowledge of time and space, if it can be well connected with any kind of topic or any kind of notion, it creates a kind of, creating a situation where students become interested what is going to be taught. Directly jumping on the topic, it creates a kind of opposite reaction to the student, because we have not given the background of the topic, and background of the topic depends upon how much the teachers are equipped with the topic, with the event, with the idea which is going to be discussed. When you talk about the topic that the teacher usually takes in the classes, and the way it is being responded by the student, certainly the delivery and the recipient, the relation between two is taken care by the teacher. Those were the days when we are very much habituated in the lecture methods. Through lecture methods, we have been teaching the board methods on the chalk. With chalks, we are using chalks, later on projectors, and in that way, the lecture, and with the help of some IT, we are trying to make a delivery to the student. Now the question is, delivery depends upon how much content is being prepared, or how the students are responding to that content. This is very much important. And in that way, I would like what are covered by the teacher. It requires how the course are being prepared. And while preparing the course content, the curriculum, the courses of any subject, the role of teacher is most important. And while planning the syllabus or delivering any kind of topic, the credentiality, the credibility of the topic is most important. Because when teachers are teaching something in the classes, how far they are accurate in their content. Because the kind of challenges that are being taken by the content, I do feel that in no way where the credentiality of the content, once you say the thing that I am telling you, it is written in such a book, and if you quote your narration from a original book, yes, it is there in that book, that creates a kind of ambience. The teacher is original in terms of collecting the source material. This also you put your originality of the content. Certainly, it not only gives the delivery of the knowledge, it rather creates a kind of good relation. The teacher is authentic, teacher is serious, that teacher is quoting that content which is written in such a important original book. So this kind of verification or creating a content is not only good for knowledge sake, rather it is good for creating effective teaching, because it is creating a kind of faith generation, belief generation. The teachers are getting interested that sir is original in true sense of the term. Sir is more than, sir or madam is more than Google's. Otherwise, we don't find difference. So, these students will be bound to say goodbye to such kind of electronic device once the teachers, we teachers in the history, go for that original sources, because the content of history is usually based with archival sources, with original sources. And in that way, the verification part, the course content verification parts, we have a different ways, because the historical narration, historical narratives are based on two parts. One is author and another is the book. When a author or a teacher teaches anything based on the book, certainly the mindset of the teacher is most important, because the course content and the mindset of the teacher is very much important for making an effective teaching for the student. Because suppose you are teaching management in the class, and you are teaching management on modern system, how things are managed based on the modern tools and everything, and you are to you have different models for management, and one of the important management model based on Indian knowledge system, we have the Bhagavad Gita is one of the source where the management is being the source material where we find our knowledge system based on our Indian traditions, ancient scripts, and based on that scripts we deliver how the management was being imparted, or the knowledge of management was there in our ancient scripts. So once if you deliver your management study based on modern books, and you deliver your knowledge system which was inherent in our ancient tradition, certainly the students will find a difference. Oh, during Mahabharata period, this was the way of managing the state, how a state is being controlled. Even during the Maurya period, if you look into the statecraft of Chanakya or Kautilya, you will find that the statecraft or state management or economy, when you talk about the golden age of the Gupta period, certainly the state management, particularly when you talk about the overseas trade or the internal trade, the over excess of export over imports, that imparts that it was the golden age in true sense of the term from economic point of view. The question of the managing the state economy, the state agriculture, the modus of management during the ancient time management. The management teaching that is there, that is written in the Googles is half, but once the teacher uses more than that by using our ancient tradition, it creates not only the from past to present, rather it creates a new kind of knowledge, a new kind of way where they find interest, how their knowledge was inherent during the ancient time, and from ancient to present and projection of future that can be imparted by the teacher. So the effective, when you talk about effective teacher, effective teaching, certainly the use of Indian knowledge system plays a very vital role. And in history also, when we teach historical connection, I am talking about how the original content, the content which are in the secondary source and content which are in the original sources, or making the content linkage with the past. Connecting past with the present, it generally, what I mean to say, it generates interest, and this is the historical connection, the historical linkage. Historical linkage, what I mean to say to all the faculties that historical linkage, it creates, enriches the knowledge, and with that knowledge, the teacher and taught relation can be enriched, their relation can be having more confidence, and the disconnect can be created in terms of connection in the class. So this historical linkage, how it creates a better connection, and that is the effective, one of the way of effective teacher. I have submitted that by presenting the original content by the faculties is one of the important way where the effective teaching can be imparted. In history, it is not only the faculty, it is not only the content that is most important. The second most important thing is that the mindset of the teacher. The content quality, the content originality, if it is not coping with the mindset of the teacher, certainly in that way the deliverance does not go in the right direction. Many contents which are written, particularly in the ideological phenomena, ideological perspective, if it does not match with the faculties, the right deliverance is sometimes becomes absent, and that create disinterest in the classroom. Suppose you are teaching Marxism and the faculties are not Marxist by heart, they are non-Marxist. So any kind of true Marxism, true interpretation, usually does not find that kind of outlet the way it is expected, because the mindset of the author, if it does not mix with the ideological mindset of the topic, the originality of the topic, the gap is created, and in that way that also creates a kind of disinterest in the classes. The connection between teacher and taught is not created in that way, because the faculty always defend or will go in that way with the things, the original things somehow or other becomes diluted. It is not necessary, but in most of the cases, I can tell you the taste, the interest, the sympathy, the biasness of the teacher sometimes play a big role in the deliverance of the content, because once author is biased in terms of ideology, if author is biased in terms of attitude, if the faculty is biased in terms of caste, if the faculty is biased in terms of religion, all these attitudes of the faculty play a big role in presenting the content, particularly the social science content in right perspective, because things are related to the attitude of the society and the individuals, and that creates a big, the public opinion among the people, and once the classroom becomes the platform for delivering or creating a public opinion of the mindset of the faculty, which usually in some institution it happens if the teacher takes the tool of the classroom for creating a kind of group, a kind of ideological opinion in the mindset of the student. They try to create a group of students which will like their opinion, which will like their philosophy. The class is an open Pandora box. It should not be biased. Things should be open to the student. Let the student decide what is good and bad. But once the teacher takes the tool of ideological biasness, diluting the originality of the content, despite the fact they are quoting, they are speaking from that book. But once the teacher is biased while delivering the best lecture, it does not sound well, and it does not create a free society which is required for any kind of classroom teaching. So that is also, so the mindset of the teacher is most important while giving the effective teaching in the classroom. So I have talked about the content should be original, the mindset. So at the larger extent, the faculty should make their ego, faculty should make their biasness, the personal biasness, to a larger extent zero when they go to the classes. When they deliver anything with any kind of attitude, it does not create a sound relation. It does not make a way where they can deliver the best. So this kind of notion is very much important while delivering any kind of event. So I was talking about the content, I was talking about the teacher. In historical discourse, in historical classes, it is expected that the teacher of the history, when they teach any kind of event, they should create, rather they should make such kind of impression among the students, and that is true for everyone, for any subject also. Because if the students are not linking with that topic, it does not become effective. Linking the student with the topic, now many approaches have developed, and under national education policy, well defined, the government of India has said that the teachers at large in most of the faculties, they should use the experiential approach while delivering the best for the students. This approach is based on the mixing of the old and the new, and while mixing the old and new, it clearly states that not only the teaching in the classroom, rather making the use of ICT is equally important. Whether you are lecturing or making the use of ICT, the most important thing is that the student should be known to the facts, the content that is being delivered, and whether it is output of the content, as national education policy talks about, while framing the syllabus, while delivering the classes, the output of this course content and output of the delivery. If your deliverance is not giving better output, if the students are not feeling keen to the development, if they are not realizing that their knowledge is going to make any kind of linkage with the present world, if your topic is not relating to the real world, it is not going to be effective. So the real world feeling, to create such kind of feeling among the students, how to do and what to do, it depends upon the teacher, and the teacher of the different discipline, they have to make the class interesting. I am giving you one example. Suppose I am a history teacher and I have to teach Second World War or World War. How to create World War is a informative phenomena. Everything is written in the rules, but in order to create the real feeling, evening. The Second World War was fought between the Allied powers and the Axis powers, and Germany was the defeated nation, and the war criminals, one of the impact the world has faced, the war has given a lot of loss of not only the properties, loss of human beings. It is called war and war criminals, who due to that the humanity is threatened. So the Nazi, you will be happy to know how the atrocity of Nazi during the Second World War, and how war is serious, how war is horror, how war affects the person who are not involved in the war, the person who are fighting the war. It not only affects them, rather it affects everyone. When we are teaching the war, how war is relevant to the modern students, because when now the Rus-Ukraine war, or war that is going on in Gaza, the different groups are involved in the war, the different powers are involved in the war. War is going on, I can visualize, but if you link the Second World War, history teaches the whole things. But if you link the horror of the war, how war has affected the humanity, humanity still persists. We are human beings. If war goes on, certainly the students have to make it clear how the horror of war is there. Once they link the war affects humanity, certainly they feel if the war that is going on today, it is going to make a challenge. It is going to make affected, because despite the fact they are not the part of the war, war affects those who are not part of the war. Horrors, the Nazis' atrocity made the entire nation, the entire world know. If you look the war trials of the Second World War, and in that way, this film or the visual or the if you can make a classroom a war trial room, someone will make a demonstration of how the trials are going on. And if you look, the Germans are being are defeated, and how trials started after Second World War. So if the trial is being demonstrated in the class, the students will be aware about how war is, the enemy of the humanity. So when you are teaching Second World War, it is not only connecting the student about the Second World War, rather the real world they are living, where still the people are engrossed with the war-like situation. When any kind of conflict that goes on, and it is going to affect their life, the humanity is in danger, the student will feel connected. When you teach history in a blended mode, in a visual mode, or in a experiential method, creating classroom, the war trial room. So this is the way of teaching history, that you have to change the normal rote method or the lecture method that is being done during the earlier period. So this kind of pedagogical change under national education policy, it is not simply in one topic. If I am teaching, connecting a student with any kind of event, the event connection, when we are teaching the geography, the climate, the climatic change, certainly the climate change can be taught in a different way, the way the students are delivered. We have now the project work. Suppose you are to teach agriculture, you can bring the student to the agricultural field, how seed is being cultivated, how the plant is being grown. So a real life demonstration, if the teacher gives to the student of any kind of topic, that not only correlates the topic, rather it creates a kind of experience of the teacher, if it imparts to the student in a different way, through lecture, through depends upon how teacher is using their mindset for the best delivery to the student. Teacher role in the class, it varies. As a father, he becomes a guardian when he cares the student. That also creates a good teaching. Once you are indifferent in the class to the student, certainly you have to create, you are a guardian, you are creating a future for the student. You have to give the guarantee with this lecture, you are going to get the best knowledge and that will be helpful to you. So the honesty in all the ways gives the way for the best deliverance. When teacher is in the class, they have to play a big role, and in that way the experiential teaching, it is considered the best teaching, and the best teaching depends upon the best way that you are performing in the class, and in that way four things you have to keep in mind. Number one is the understanding of the subject matter. The understanding of the subject matter, any kind of the topic, if their conceptual part is best delivered by the faculties. The understanding depends upon how you have explored the skill of the student. And in that way, again, I will talk about the historical linkage. In a classroom, just imagine you have many students in the classroom coming from different cultural settings, different social backgrounds. There are students who are poor, there are students who are rich, there are students who have come from rural background, a background where others are illiterate. Students coming from different cultural backgrounds, they may belong to different religious group also. So a classroom is a mixture of different diversified social groups, social settings, and you are not acquainted with the student historical background. You are acquainted with the historicity of the topic, okay? You have developed the best content, okay? But the greatest challenge the teacher faces is they go to the class and they started delivering without knowing the psychology of the student. And that study of the local, the study of the area the student belong to, and the social setting of the student, that is most important. Because their social setting, you have to divide the student into different categories. There are some students who are slow in understanding the topic that you are delivering. There are students who cannot communicate but they can understand. There are students who are weak in understanding the content of the topic, and you are doing the best. So the social setting, the strength of the teachers depends upon how you perceive the understanding, the social formation of the students from where they belong to. And in that way, the history of the place the student belong to, history of the, their social setting, if they are coming from some background where they are deprived emotionally, you are to create, you are to care by dividing different groups, by taking extra classes, or making the class in such a way so that they can cope up, they can the good student and the less bright student, they can be mixed up. And in that way you can create a kind of good ambience in the classroom. So the creating good ambience, the effective teaching depends upon how you are creating a good ambience, and it depends upon when you are caring the different categories of the students, they are there in the classroom. Because all students are not equal, and your delivered outcome of the best teaching should go to each and every student. Some students who are bright in academics, if they have picked up your classes, and the rest are not getting that kind of benefit, your delivery is again the half-hearted. A teacher's delivery should reach each and every student. It must be cared, because the classroom setting depends upon, because you are a control if you can take care of the students' mindset in true sense of the term. I'm telling you this thing because the language is most important. Sometimes the language that you are using and the language the students are habituated. There are some faculties who are not convenient in a language they are speaking, but they are bound to do that because they are to deliver the best in that language, but they are not efficient or not master in communicating the best content, because unless the best content is not delivered truly in the language where the teachers are comfortable to deliver, this gives one the hindrance for creating a better ambience. And secondly, vice versa, when the students are not well acquainted or well received by the language the teacher is being taught, the content is being delivered by the teacher in the class. If this is mismatched, you are teaching in English, the students are weak in English. They are not understanding the subject matter that you have. Certainly, the effective teacher, the ethos of effective teaching will be lost. The teacher have to care whether the students are well versed in understanding the subject matter, number one, and in order to create the better understanding, the instruction, the method of instruction, the language of instruction should be taken care, because the instruction of teacher must serve the larger purpose, the communicative or understanding purpose of the student. If it is not done or if it is not created, again the effective and engrossing teaching process, their effort will be lost. So the understanding, experiencing learning is most important, and that should be constant. There are, we teach theory and practice, and this is very much important, because theoretical part, any kind of theoretical part, if it is taught in a theoretical manner, if the teacher teaches them in terms of application, how that theory is applicable to the modern day life, if that is being link is being created. So the theory must be linked, the theoretical knowledge of the class must be linked with the application of that theory in the practical life. And here lies the role of the teacher for effective teaching. So the theories must be made applicable in terms of making a practical application of that theory. And in that way, the use of ICT is most important. University Grant Commission 2 talks about, and coming day is the days of information technology. The use of information technology is very much important by creating a application-based lecture. Certainly, you can create, the virtual classroom where the student can feel that they are visualizing the real things. Suppose in the solar system you are to teach, and through visual way, where is the location of sun, where is the location of moon or the other places. If the students can see that in a visual form, in a this use of information technology will certainly make them realize that yes, the kind of satellites, the stars or the moons, their position of their nature can be better conceived if the use of ICT is made applicable while delivering in the class. And in that way, the integration of technology and experiential learning is most important for making a effective teaching. It is also said that for effective teaching, the classroom should be made, because if you make the collaborative, fostering collaboration, because one of the objective for education is that the student learn many things in teamwork. If you deliver lecture and if you make a group, and by making a group you are delivering something, you have given the task, and with that task, if they perform well and you get the report, you will find that a kind of team, a kind of cooperative approach, not only by delivering, you have created a kind of interest among the students to work together to reach to the goal of the project. So the group study, and in that way you can create such kind of situation in the class also. So the project is one way, group discussion is one way. In political science also, the debate, or in the law classes also, there are certain, the issues which the society are facing. So the debates can be organized on some topic, and in that way the students can be made known. So it is not only the one-way process. In the classroom, sometimes you can start the class with the questions from the students. Let the students should be participatory. If you make the entire classroom participatory, that also creates the better understanding between the teacher and the taught. It should not be one-sided. And this participatory method depends upon how you have made every student the part of the teaching process. And in that way, bringing every teacher participatory in the area of teaching process, you have to make a relation, and in that way you can give the instruction what every student will do. So the collaborative approach, the teamwork with the student, this is most important. It is said that there are many things. The problem-solving approach also creates a better understanding in the classroom effective nature. So any kind of you have set the objective, and that must be solved, and you started giving the examples of how to solve it. Let the students should give the way they should solve the problem, and the students, if they become the agents of the change, or if they can bring some solution to the students. So in that way, sometimes it is said that if for delivering the class, lecture in the class, you give assignment to the student. Let the student read, and then you make a discussion on that. Let the student express their opinion on that topic. And if the students are involved, because you have given assignment to them, and they are expressing, and then you are giving the input. So the involvement of the students by giving free assignment to the students, this is the one way how you are making the student participatory in the entire. So the engaging the students in the delivery of the classes, that is one way where the engaging the student for solving the problem is another way where we can see that the classes become very much interesting. And lastly, I would like to tell you that the main motto of the teacher and taught is the student out of the way of the syllabus. If you can create any kind of topic to the social setting, to the society, because it depends upon the caliber of the teacher, if they can make any kind of topic relevant to the society, because things have happened in time and space, and if you can link the student with time and space it has occurred, the history becomes revived. So linkage of the event, whether it is the historical event, whether it is the geographical event, or it is the event of any science or humanities, if you can link them with the past, the originality of the past, if the personality involved is there, if you can make linkage with the original thought or original process, the best part is that the history creates connection, and that connection gives birth to a kind of good relation, and good relation creates better understanding, and the better understanding creates interest in the subject matter, and if the interest is created, it will be responsive in nature, and if students are responsive process of delivery is fruitful. So the person, the teacher who is teaching in the class, this is one part. Whether you are using blended mode method or lecture method or practical field survey, whatever the approaches you have adopted in the classes, the best part is how you are linking yourself, the course content with the student, and in that way, the linking the student with the historicity of the event can create a better ambience, the effective teaching and thought-provoking teaching, and that is required, that is the need of the hour. And I do feel that without historical linkage, the pleasurable class, the class where the student will find interest, it cannot be created. Things has never happened in a vacuum. It has always a past. It has always a legacy. It has always a heritage. So unless you make them, हमारा बाप कौन था, तो बच्चे को लगेगा कि मेरा originator कौन था, and if you can create a good relation between father and son, I think they can deliver if they have the legacy to extend this legacy for future also. The history believes in continuum, and the historical knowledge, the knowledge deliverance, it should go in that way, linking past with the present, so that future of any country can be protected by historical linkage, delivering the best to the good in any classroom. That is my notion. And now it is open to any kind of observation, any kind of comment you can make. Thank you very much.
Gurpreet Madam, any question? No question?
No question in chat box, ma'am.
Okay, anyone is interested to put question? You just ask the candidate, participant.
Participants, please. If anyone has question, please ask your question or type in chat box. Kindly ask your questions, please. We have some time. Please ask your question if you have any query.
Okay. Okay.
No questions, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much for your enlightening and empowering delivery. While many young minds in accomplishing their intellectual best, we come to an end of today's session. Thank you, sir, and thank you all the participants. And good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, madam.
Good night.